Muscle strength and conditioning is a method used to increase muscle size and strength. Typically, instructors will choose multiple multi-joint movements for opposing muscle groups. Each movement will be done for about 2 to 4 sets for about 8 to 12 repetitions each set. The most important thing here is muscle fatigue when it undergoes stress. This is because muscles need to be stretched and little tears need to happen so that the muscle will repair itself, and therefore the muscle will grow in size and strength. So when you do your sets and repetitions, you want to make sure you put enough stress onto the muscle to make the tears so that in turn it grows and becomes stronger. So the move that I'm going to go over today is the lunge. Typically, the lunge can be done in multiple planes of motion. For example, you can do the forward lunge, you can do the backward lunge, and you can also do the lateral lunge. So right now, I'm going to focus on the backward lunge. So to perform the backward lunge, you're going to stand straight, and you're going to take one leg and step backwards. That's why it's called the backward lunge. And when you do this, you're going to slightly bend your body forward so it's in line with your leg, and you're going to go all the way down to the ground, controlling the movement. And then you're going to push with your front leg up off the ground to stand straight. When you do this, you want to make sure that your hips are square with your feet and your shoulders. You also want to make sure that you're engaging your core and using mind to muscle connection. Mind to muscle connection is when you think about the appropriate muscle that is supposed to be targeted during the movement, so that is being used. So again, when you're doing the backwards lunge, you're going to go ahead and step backwards about hip width apart, and you're going to control the movement all the way down to the ground, engaging your core, and then pushing with your front leg up off the ground. So within this movement, there's also a regression that you can do. For this backwards lunge, you can go ahead and start staggered with your foot all the way back, and you can just go and touch the ground and come back up. So you just stand, go lower all the way to the ground, and use your front leg to push up off the ground. If this is still difficult for you for balance issues, you can go ahead and hold on to something and do that when you're going all the way down and all the way up. For a progression is necessary because the principle of specificity. Within this principle is that the body will adapt to the stress that it undergoes. For example, if you do the backwards lunge with just your body weight over time, it's going to become easy for you, and the muscle is going to have already grown back, and so it doesn't tear anymore while you put the same stress on the muscle. So for this reason, we want to do the principle of overload, which is putting more stress on the specific muscle so that it has to tear, so it has to be repaired. So within this case, we're going to use resistance. You can use resistance bands, kettlebells, dumbbells, or even a barbell to add weight to the movement, to add more stress to the muscle we're targeting. So for me, I'm gonna grab a dumbbell. So I just have a singular dumbbell here, and I'm gonna hold it in my opposite hand as my front leg. Just like before, I'm gonna stand square with my hips, with my feet, and my feet to my shoulders. And just like before, I'm gonna take my back leg and push it back and go all the way to the ground, engaging my core and pushing with my front leg up off the ground. And again, you're gonna go all the way to the ground, controlling the movement, and then go all the way up. While I'm doing this, I'm thinking about my quadriceps, my hamstrings, and my glutes. Those are the main 3 lower body muscles that you're gonna be working during this exercise. As you think about these muscles, as you go down and come back up, it's gonna work a better mind to muscle connection. So if that progression is still easy for you, you can go ahead and elevate the surface. What this will do is, by going up just a few inches, you will provide a longer range of motion for the leg and the muscle. So you can start on the elevated surface, just a few inches, And again, engage your core about hip width, and you go ahead and step back with the dumbbell all the way down and all the way up. When you do this, you have a longer range of motion so that the hamstrings and the glutes are stretched more. And go ahead and stand right back up. One thing that's important to know when completing the lunge or any other muscle strength and conditioning movement is to know your proper fitness level, because we don't want to do too much too soon. If we do too much too soon, we're going to be more prone to injuries and it'll set back our progress. So we want to pick which one is doable for us, but at the same time, we'll put more stress on the muscle that we're targeting so that it will tear and it will grow and we will have increased muscle size and strength. So things we want to think about is time under tension and mind to muscle contraction and full range of motion. While we do this, this will make for our exercises to be most efficient and healthy for our body so that we don't hurt ourselves and get setbacks.